Hello and welcome to Barre. This is a mixture of ballet, Pilates and other fitness elements, and it's going to work best today if you are in socks or in bare feet. And for today you do not need any extra props, just yourself and something that you're using as a bar, back of a chair, edge of a table, the wall, mantelpiece, whatever's going to be nice and sturdy to give you a bit of support. But we're going to start away from our bar, so just if you have a portable bar, move it to one side. Make sure you've got enough space around you for a little bit of movement as we take a warm up. So let's give it a go. Just placing the feet underneath the sit bones to start. We're going to be dropping down through the knees and lifting up through the spine, lengthening tall. Just a little sponginess in the knees and lengthening up. Let's quicken that up. So we've got a little bend and stretch. At the same time, drawing the shoulders nice and slow, squeezing them up and dropping them down. Let's go back the other way. So squeeze the shoulders back and up, lift them up towards the ears, drop them forwards and down. And we're going to make this a little spongier through the knees, a little swing through the arms. We're going to have some circles through the wrists as we go. Just little wrist circles. Keep thinking about the sit bones dropping straight down in space. Take the wrists back the other way. So circling gently in, a little bit of exploration through the fingers, nice and spongy through the ankles, planted through the feet. We're going to lose the wrists, we're going to lengthen the legs, and we're going to turn it into a little peel through the foot. So now peeling the foot away from the ground, just thinking about stepping up nice and tall through the spine. Start to think of that wrapping of the TVA muscle, that muscle around the waist, wrapping in towards the belly button. Little gentle lift between the sit bones, growing tall. We're going to pick up the pace with the feet, little padding through. I'm going to start to step that away, out to the side of the room, maybe a little bit swaying, that's fine. We're going to slow it down again, little slow pad, slow pad. Just a bit of a sway from side to side. Now I think you know where this is going, but we're not today. We're going to turn it into one of these. So now it's a pad and point, and we're just letting the arms swing, a bit of rotation through the body at the same time. And they can come as high as you want, as high as you've got space for. If you've not got too much space, don't worry, keep it nice and low. We're going to turn that into a side bend. So rather than swishing around the front, we're going to reach up and over to the side of the room. Keep breathing nice and deep, keep the feet moving. And then we're going to turn that into another movement again, where it's more of a swipe and in. So think about closing into the middle now, swiping away. We can take that with two arms at the same time, point and in, point and in. So it's not really a side bend so much as a side reach up on that diagonal. And if you wanted to, you could take that into a star jump, or you could leave it with a step, whatever works for you. If you're star jumping, let's have four more, 4 and 3. Last 2, last 1, take it into a little jog. Just a little jog, doesn't have to be on the time of music. Just slowing it down again, making it soft again, making it more into that pad through the feet. Take a little roll through the shoulders once again, up and back, up and forwards. Make that pad even smaller, just bring it in underneath yourself. We're going to take a bend of 2 knees, reach it up, breathe in. And we're going to pour it down through the top of the spine. Rolling down, bending the knees as and when is appropriate. Have a little shake of the head. Maybe a little nod of the head, and then sinking the pelvis down to unroll. Take another big reach up through the arms, and just press the air away. Take a look over one shoulder, back to the center, same thing the other way, and back to the middle. And we're going to be moving to our bar, or moving our bar into our space. So taking your bar, placing it into an area that is nice and comfortable for you, making sure you can still see your camera screen. And we're going to be stepping up to our bar into a first position today. So that's a little rotation in the top of the leg. I don't have great terms of turnout, so I've just got a little first position. Mine looks like a little right angle, but I know that it's supported right from the top of the leg. And in this first position, I'm going to be taking some tondus and some ankle circles. And you can just follow along with this one, it's nice and simple. We're going to tondu one leg to the front, so point the toe and circle the ankle outwards 3 times. Then we're going to draw it to the knee. Just leave it there for a second. Place it down. Same thing on the other side. 3 little circles out and 3, draw it in and up to the knee, just standing tall, place it down, same thing to the side, point, 3 circles inwards now, inwards with the ankle, draw it back up, all the way to the knee, place it down, go tonju, circle 1, circle 2, circle 3, to the knee, forgot what that body part's called, take it down, same thing to the back, it's round, it's 2, it's 3, draw in and up, doesn't matter if it's to the side or behind the knee, that's fine, open and circle, circling out, drawing in and up. We're going to repeat all of that again. We're going to add some arms. So front, nothing here. But as we take the foot to the knee, see if you can take a little Total Barre. Take it down and the other side. So it's just opening the arms to first and second closing with the foot. Replace the hands to the side. Circle inwards when you're at the side. Trying to stay nice and tall through the spine so you can take the arms all the way to fifth side. So circle inwards, it's 2, it's 3, close and up, all the way to fifth. Open, same to the back, we've got to the back. Rotate, and 2, and 3, draw in and up. Can be a first position there so we don't fall off balance, that's all good. Remember it's still early in the session. Keep it small, ready to open, to out. Close down. We're just going to take tonjus on each of those angles. Here we go. So we've got to the front and close. Same on the other foot. 1 to each side. Side and close. 1 to the back on either side. Try and keep the pelvis facing straight forwards. We're going to do that one more time. To the front, to close. Closing back to that first position. Rotating in the legs. Thinking about going tall on both sides of the spine, just lightly touching onto your bar. Close it down. We're going to take a little plie through the knees. See if you can raise the heels. Push the feet down. Push down through the bar. Lower down through the heels. We're going to take a little bit of motion in the hip socket now. We're going to be opening the legs into a parallel stance and rotating back into a first. So you can leave the hands on the bar. We're going to go open and close. Open and close. Nice and simple. Gives you a chance to think about posture on top. So thinking about stacking up through the spine, wide and proud through the collarbones, I like to say, wrapping the glute muscles underneath. But it doesn't have to be a high lift through the heels, just a little shift. We're going to leave that in first now. We'll take some plies. We'll go down and up. Really simple stuff today with the plies. Got other things coming up. I normally do a bit of a longer plie, slightly shorter, a little simpler today, just to keep it moving. I'm thinking about the knee tracking over the centre of the foot every time, so just dropping the pelvis in space. Let's go for 3 more. Last 2. We're going to take some pulses down on the next one. So we're just going to come down, little squeeze, little squeeze. And if we wanted to, we could take a Total Barre again. Raise the arm, open it out. It can go all the way to fifth. We're nice and sturdy with 2 feet on the floor. Take the other one, up and over. Take it round, replace. 3 more pulses. 3, 2, 1. Stretch the legs. We're going to go back to hip rotations. So thinking about thighs drawing upwards, lifting through the kneecaps. Try not to tilt the pelvis. Just let it sit nice and neutral. Hip bones and pubic bones stacked over each other. We're going to take that back to the plies. Just the down and up, down and up. Think about inside thighs drawing together. Pressure down through the feet. Spongy through the knees, nice and smooth, nothing snatch. We're going to stay down. Here we go with our pulses. Little pulses down. We can take a Total Barre again, any Total Barre you like. Anything with that arm. Could add a little side bend. We're nice and secure, we've got 2 feet down. Take the other arm for a little journey. Anything it wants to do. Little roll around, up and over. Maybe coming back down. You've got 4 more pulses. It's 4, 3, last 2, last 1. Lengthen the legs. We're going to close that back into a parallel position. Step it back a little bit from your bar. Have a little stretch out. If this is too intense, bend through the knees. And if that's too intense, you can always place the elbows onto the bar instead. Place the hands together, just have a little stretch there. We're going to take a very small cat stretch. So very small, lift through the middle back. And lengthen away through the head and the tailbone. Again, you can do that with the arms extended. You could do it with the legs extended, as long as it's not going impinge into the hamstrings. If it feels uncomfortable, just take a little bend through the knees. A little curve upwards, a little curve down. Step the feet back in. Growing nice and tall through the spine. Just take a little circle around through the elbows. We're going to take that back in the other direction, lifting up and over. We're going to be taking this into an exercise, a little bit of work through our upper body and movements through the arms, the shoulders and the upper torso. So for this next one, you can do this away from the bar. I usually demonstrate this away from the bar. I'm going to do it on the bar today just for a bit of variation. So we're thinking about stacked legs, stacked pelvis, nice lengthened spine and torso and legs. Legs and hips staying parallel whilst the body above the waist is doing the movement. So I'm going to place 2 hands onto my bar. I'm going to take a little lift through the spine and gently release. And again, breathe it in to lift. Exhale to come back. Let's take a little curve the other way. You can bend the knees if you want to. It's optional. Take another curve again. We're going to be coming into some movements with one arm. So we're going to do everything on one side first and then on the other side today. I'm going to start with the arm nearest to you. So we're starting with a lengthened spine. We're going to reach across the body nice and slow. I'm going to pull the elbow back nice and slow. And you can see there's a little bit of rotation through the torso. Let's speed that up 4 times. So 4, pull back. It's 3, hips stay facing the front. We're going to take that same action, but we're going to extend the arm. So slow it down. 2 nice and slow with an extending arm. Reaching forwards, reaching back, speeding that up. So you've got 4 and a 3. You can allow the gaze to travel as well. Travel out across the room. Don't feel you've got to turn the head all the way. This one's a bit of a curve. We're going to up and over waft. Sorry, I've got all my hair on my face today. Rounded spine, up and over. Then we've got 4 faster. 4 and open. You could have a bend of the knees here if it's more comfortable. Keep that pressure down on the bar. We're going to take a side bend up and over. Bring it smoothly back again. That could be on bent knees. 4 faster. Finish off that side. You can plie with each one. If you want to, you could just stay down in plie. We're going to take it to the other side. We're going to cake. I love the idea of cake. But we're going to just take it to the other side. So we're just back to the slow reach through the elbow. And then we're going to take that a little faster. Now, I'm sorry if you can't really see that elbow there. You can see that rotation in my body. Just turning the torso, leaving the pelvis. But we're going to now see the arm appear as it reaches back. Actually, that might also be hidden from the camera. You see why I normally do this? Not facing the bar. And 4 times faster. Stay planted through the feet. Make sure you have it locked into the knees. We're going to take that wafty one. So this one curves forwards on diagonal. Opens up on a diagonal. So there's a little bit of curve and a little bit of extension through the spine. Faster for 4. And remember, you could take a plie as you go. It's going to come into a side bend, up and over, and away. Same thing, slow again. You've got 4 fast. It's a 4 and a 3. You could plie as you go. That's your last one here. Once again, sink it down. Press the floor away, lengthen the spine, sink it down. Press the floor away, lengthen the spine, little lift through the chest. And release back one more time. Little lift through the chest. Must remember a hair tie next time. We've got lifting the heel, 1 and 2. Just padding through the feet. We're going to take that into a full foot pad in a second. We're going to take it now. We're going to start to smoothly move away from our bar. Just let it be. Let it stay there. It's fine. We're going to take that into just to the outside of the hips. We're going to take a squat action. So we're going to be taking a little squat down. And I'm just holding my hands in front of my sternum just to put them somewhere that's nice and stable. Helps me connect with the body. Sternum, thinking sternum, sinking straight down. So we're going to take that. Down we go, a little squat. I'm going to hold it there for a minute. Now it's up to a minute. If you're really struggling, feel free to lengthen the legs, shake it off, come back in again. It takes a little bit of time to build up. And when I first started doing it for a minute, I thought, how does anyone do this? This is just held for a minute, or really for 30 seconds was probably where I started. It does build slowly over time, making sure that you're not flaring through the ribs gently closed, breathing into the backs of the lungs. Your gaze will just be slightly dropped down. That's about halfway. Doing good, doing good. Keeping nice and low in the legs. If you can drop the sit bones just a little more, all good. Keep breathing. You've only got 10 seconds to go. Really good, you're nearly there. It's your last 5, 4, and 3. It's 2, it's 1. Lengthen the legs and reach up. Give them a little shake off. I always need a little shake. It's a good one to do when you're timing things on the microwave. That's when I always do it. Pop the meal in the microwave. When it gets down to a minute, well, that's 2 minutes squat, then you get rewarded with your lunch, which is always nice. We're going to be taking an exercise for our glutes and hamstrings, back surface of the leg. And I'm going to do this one just slightly more side on so that you can see it better. We're going to be taking a pitched body line. And so for that, I'm going to be placing my elbows onto my bar because of the height of the bar for me. You might still be able to use your hands, that's fine. Because I've got my elbows, you could be clasped together, you could be just fists, nice and lengthened. So I'm thinking about finding a neutral tilted spine. So my sit bones are now facing somewhere back this way, and the top of my head lengthening forwards. And from this position, I'm going to be reaching one leg back, and I'm going to be lifting that leg into an arabesque line. It's a rotated parallel arabesque line. And we're going to take some pulses through that leg. Don't worry, you're not going to be there forever. So we're going to lengthen this leg. We're going to pulse with a pointed foot. 8 and 7 and 6. Nice and square through the shoulders, wrapping around the waist. We're going to make it a flex foot. So you've got, again, 8 and 7. Reach that heel away from you. Think of the glute pulsing to help the leg to move. We're going to take that into a fold. Reach away. Glute squeeze, toes point. Glute squeeze, toes point. You've got 4 more. Here we go. It's 4. Stay grounded on that supporting leg. Try not to lock back into the knee. Last one. Then we're going to bend it in. We're going to take 8 little pulses here. 7 and 6. Staying strong through the body. Are you wrapping that TBA? You're going to be opening the knee to the side. Open, close down. So it comes into a rotated position and back into that parallel. You've got 4 to go. Try not to twist through the pelvis. I am trying my best to keep my 2 hip bones facing the floor. I apologise if they are moving. It's something that we're all working on. And we've got little pulses. 8 to finish. 8 and 7. It's 6. Keep breathing. Stay strong through the core. 3. Last 2. Last 1. And release. Take a little moment. Shake off those legs. We'll have a little stretch out after we've done the second side. So once again, coming into that tilted position, I'm just going to stay on this side for today. So you get to see what my working leg is hopefully doing. Just staying nice and strong. I'm not looking backwards, just lengthening upwards. And so I'm coming back into my forearms position. For you, it might be hands. Long neutral spine. Lengthen that leg away. You've got your 8 pointed pulses first. Here we go. It's point. Thinking about the shoulder blades sliding in and down on the back. Suctioning onto the back of the ribs. Flex the foot. 8 here. So finding that flexion through the ankle. Drawing the toes towards the shin. That's going to turn into flex and point. And flex and point. 6 more. Nice and steady. No snatching through the movement. Just keep lengthening. We're going to run out of music. We'll see if it fits on the next thing. It's 2. You've got last 1. You've got little pulses up. 7, 6, 5. Works well. 4. It's 3. It's 2. It's 1. Brief little pause before we go. Open to close. So again, 2 hip bones facing towards the floor. Lower abdominals wrapping back in towards the spine. 4 more of these to go. 4. Keep breathing into the backs of the ribs. Don't lock that underneath knee. Last 1. 8 little pulses to finish. Shoulder blades nice and secure. Not sinking in the chest. It might be tiny. Mine is tiny. That's okay. Work within your range. Release. Woo! Take a little bend of the knees. You know what's coming. It's our little figure 4 stretch. Doesn't matter which leg you do first. Whichever one feels like it would be appropriate. Take a little bend of the knees. Woo, there it is. So sitting onto your invisible chair, you can do this with the hands on the bar, you can do this with the forearms. It's just there for a little bit of support so you can really get into that stretch. And release. Switch over to the other side, bending through the knees. Have a little sit and check. Oh yes. One more exercise at the bar today, and then we'll be bringing it down to the floor for our last couple of exercises. And gently release. Take a little bit of wiggle. Take a little bit of an inward and outward rotation. Just getting a bit of that inwards work as well. We do a lot of work in an externally rotated position, particularly in bar. It's nice to also work the internal rotation as well. A little bit of a stretch down the outside. You might feel it slightly differently into the glute. A couple more of those. And then we're going to be coming back to our bar. Face on again to the bar today. And we're going to be stepping up into a parallel position. So this one is a rise and lower. And I'm just going to take the music down a little bit while I talk through that one. So the rise and lower exercise, it's a simple pattern. You're going to be taking two bent knees, lengthen it up, and a rise and a lower. So we take a plie and a stretch and a rise and a lower. We're going to do that 3 times. That's your third one. And rise and lower, and then you've just got 2 more, rise and lower, and rise and lower on the end. So you've got 3 plie, stretch, rise, lower, 3 of those, and then 2 rise and lower on the end. Don't worry if it gets confusing, because people always drop off at some point. You'll get it, you'll come back in, absolutely fine. We do it in first. We rotate the legs as we were doing before sorry, that was a lie. We do it in parallel. We rotate the legs, we do it in first. We rotate the legs again to an open parallel position. We rotate the legs again into a small second position. We rotate the legs again into an more open parallel position. And then we're going to close to one foot. Do it on one foot, parallel, and then on one foot, parallel. We're going to do the whole thing again. The second time, we're not going to do the 2 rises. We're just going to stay up there, and we're going to do a port bras of our choice. And when we get to the ones that are on one leg, we're going to do it in a turned out position. If that was confusing, feel free to skip back and have another go, or feel free to have a watch through and then join in the second time and repeat for yourself. So it starts parallel first, parallel, parallel, parallel. Second time, it's turned out on those last 2 on the single. The first whole set, you've got the 2 rises at the end of each 3 up and down. And the second whole time we do it, no extra rises, you just stay up there and you port bras. Let's give it a go. It'll make more sense when we crack on. Right, let's turn this back up again. Here we go. Parallel to start, hands on the bar. You've got a bend and stretch and rise and lower. That's 2. So this must be 3. So you've got 2 rises. Up to down, turn out, and lengthen. Every time you're going up, your inside thighs drawing together. 2 rises on the end. That's 1. That's 2. Rotate heels, bend and stretch. And bend and stretch. So this is number 3. So you've got 2 rises on the end. Toes go out, bend the knees. Think about that rotation coming from the top of the leg. That's 3, so you've got 2 rises. You're going to rotate the heels. Down and up. I'm a little far from my bar, just going to creep in there. A little bend and stretch. 2 rises. We're going to move to 1 foot for parallel. Down. You can keep 2 hands on the bar, and that's fine. Up to down. Really pushing down through the board of the foot. Other side. Down and up. Think glutes underneath, supporting you up. Down and lift. 2 rises. Down. Shake it off. The whole thing again. Last 2 are in turn out. But we've got no 2 rises, just a port bras. Bend and stretch. So just 3 of these. Stay up there. Take a little lift. Take it down. Okay? If that feels comfortable, you can be a little more adventurous with your port bras. You can take it for a little walk. Maybe a little open and down. Heels rotate. So back to parallel, separated feet. 3 times up and down. Stay up on that last one. Maybe it goes all the way up. Comes all the way down. Toes turn out. Up to the down. Lengthening. Lifting. Anything you like with the arms. we're going to come to one foot, up to down. This one's the tricky one. You're going to stay up there, even just a little balance is fine. Second foot. If you're happy with a forward ride, you go for it. I'm still at the point of thinking about finding that balance. Woo! I'm less brave on my second foot. There we go. Shake that off. We're going to be moving that bar away. We're going to be coming down into the floor. So just taking feet onto the sit bones, gently rolling down through the spine. You can bend the knees at any point in order to bring the hands to the floor. Bring yourself all the way down into a quadruped position. Making sure you've got room to lengthen the legs back and room to reach the arms forwards. Yeah, just about. We're going to be taking, it's a swimming motions from the swimming exercise in Pilates. It's in a quadruped position, so it's staying here like this. If that gives you any grief through the wrists, you could always grab a mat, and you could roll up the end of your mat and then place your hands onto the descending side, or you could use a towel or a blanket, just roll it up so you've got your hands more in this position with the towel underneath. So it's just a little bit less of an acute angle through the wrist. So in your start position, when you are ready, shoulders over hands, hips over knees, long neutral spine in the center, suction those shoulder blades onto the back. We're going to slide the opposite arm and leg away from each other, all the way along the floor, maybe into a little hover. Draw them back down, touch as far apart as you can. Draw them back in, switch sides. So they lengthen away, they come to a little hover. They come back down. Try not to lock in the supporting elbow. Just taking this at your own speed. You could flow those two movements together. Now we're thinking of one long line from fingers to toes. I'm not trying to reach for the ceiling. I'm trying to reach for the wall on opposite sides. Keep your gaze looking straight down at the floor. It's not a back extension. It's a lovely long neutral spine with opposing arm and leg reaching away. And the reason it's not a back bend is because we're going to relate it into something else in a moment. So we're just finding this stability. It is a stability exercise. This is your last one. We're going to bring it back in. So we've still got our nice stable spine. We're going to tuck all of your toes, however many toes you've got, tuck them under at the back. We're going to take a breath in. We're going to exhale, hover the knees off the floor, stabilizing again. Breathe in to stay, breathe out to place the knees down. Let's go for 3 more. A little press away. Breathe in to stay, gently place the knees back on the floor. 2 to go. Remember, they don't have to be back to back. You can give yourself a wrist break at any point and gently release down. You've got 1 more to go. Try and get the crease of the elbow facing directly forwards. And sit yourself back for a moment. Ease off through the wrists. We've got 5 push-ups. My famous 5 push-ups. Does it have to be 5? No, it could be more than 5, it can be less than 5, as long as they are good. So we're aiming for around 5. It's about how placed you are in this instance. It's not about how many reps. It's about the form, because that's what we're working on in this session. So we're thinking about the form of the push-up. If that means you can do your push-ups in a plank position, that's absolutely fine. If it means you're going to be doing your push-ups with your knees down and your toes untucked in a half plank, that's absolutely fine as well. So the elbows drawing to the back of the room and pressing the floor away. You only need to do 5 of them. Try and keep all the knuckle bones down onto the hands. I'm going to start off in a plank position and I'll see how many I can do with good form, and then I might need to put my knees down. So here we go. Try and inhale as you lower and exhale as you press the floor away. Try not to snake through the body. I'm trying not to snake through the body as well. You might have a couple more to go. Keep it nice and strong. Try not to let the shoulders raise to the ears. I'm trying not to let my shoulders raise to my ears. That's my last one. And so when you are ready, sitting back for a second, releasing into a shell stretch. We're going to be coming back forwards again into a quadruped. One more time. We'll take a cat stretch here instead. So we're going to drop the tailbone, we're going to round the spine up, curve the back, allow the head to drop down. Take a breath in. Exhale, grow forwards from your tailbone through your neutral spine and into a slight upper back extension. Just lifting the chest, not too much lifting the gaze. Drop it down again. Breathe in and forwards. Lovely lengthened spine. Exhale into that upward curve. Breathing in forwards. We're going to come back to a lovely neutral in the centre. We're going to take one arm away. I'm going to take the one that's furthest from the camera actually. And I'm going to feed it underneath. I'm rotating towards a fairly straight arm here. Not locked in the elbow, but fairly straight. And then I'm rotating away. So I'm trying to leave my pelvis very still. I'm just rotating from the waistline upwards. Exhale as you feed under. Close towards the humerus. Open away. One more time. Inhale. Replace the hand. Switch to the other side. Nice and stable in the center. You've got exhale under. Inhale away. 3 more. Last 2. Try and keep the weight forwards over that arm. Try not to push back into the sit bones. Last 1. Replace. We're going to tuck the toes under at the back. We're going to lengthen the legs. Press the heels down towards the floor. Doesn't matter if they quite touch the floor, towards the floor. If that means you need a bent knee, that's fine too. Think about crease of the elbow looking forwards. Pointy bit of your elbow looking back towards your legs. Lovely long spine. We're going to step the feet to the hands. Walking in towards. Allow the head to relax. Really let that release. Deep breath in. Use your exhale to roll back up again. Lengthening the legs as you go. Restacking over those lovely long legs. And we are done there for today. Thank you very much.